Firstly, congratulations. It's a tricky one coming back from Ibrox and a cup final on horizon to focus the team, and you've certainly managed to do it today. How do you see the 90 minutes?
Yeah, really difficult coming into this game on the back of 2 defeats as well, 2 3-0 defeats away from home. Very difficult games, both of them. Going into a game today against a team that has caused us problems already this season, a team that's fighting for their lives, and a team that've got very good manager and staff and very good players. So we had to be really focused today. It's been a really tough week as well, with lots of things going on. That even up till yesterday, we had a lot of stuff going on, and we were undecided on our team selection. We had to go and make decisions, and I wouldn't say luckily, but I'm very glad that they paid off.
We'll come on to the kind of game and the passages and the key goals and such like, but tell us a wee bit about your team selection. It's an interesting one, and Scott coming in there at fullback in particular caught the eye. I thought he'd done excellently. Kieran Ngwenya, maybe one that you kept up your sleeve that he was available again. I think some of you still thought he was in Malawi. You've never gone a week without having your troubles to seek, have you?
No, we haven't, to be quite honest, but we have to get on it, because that's our job, and that's what we experiences of all this stuff. And I keep going on about COVID season. That's when you had to learn to really adapt to your team selection, and because you didn't know what was going on. The reason I picked Scott McGill was because he's training really, really well. I love his enthusiasm. I know Scott very well from last season that you were doing. Obviously went to Kelty Hearts, and sometimes people can scratch their head and say, you're not playing for Kelty, how can you play? Football's not like that. You have to try and find ways of getting the best players available to you, and I felt Scott would fit into our system really, really well. And I know him. Trust is a huge thing in football, so I had no qualms with playing Scott at right back today. I think it was the big decision on it was his training, and also I felt we'd have more of the ball today than we did at Ibrox in terms of getting forward the park. He's got great energy and he's got great quality, like we saw in the game today. Kieran stepped off a plane at 11:30 this morning, came straight to Starks Park, and then he's thrown on at half time because we have an injury to Tom Lang. And again, his appetite for football, he's going to be a tired boy. He was travelling overnight last night. We weren't sure if he'd be back in time. So when I look at the back four in the second half, it was very, very makeshift. Ryan Nolan didn't train yesterday because he was sick. Who I thought was outstanding today, and gets his goal, so happy for him. But at one point we didn't have Ryan yesterday, we didn't have Kieran, so we were really in a bit of a pickle.
A bit of a pickle, master of the understatement. Yeah. Well done, Ian. You mentioned about Scott McGill. There also gets a goal there, but it's such two of your final kind of makeshift back four get their name in the score sheet as well. That's something that we've spoken about before, of needing the defensive line, certainly at set pieces, to step up to the plate, and they've done that today. They
did. I thought they were excellent. We can defend better, we know that, because we've given, Jamie's had a really, really good save in the first half to keep the score at 1-0. He's had a couple of wee ones in the second half, and I felt our energy at times today wasn't quite there, but I can understand that it's been a tough couple of weeks for the boys, and we've asked the same players to keep going every single week, but we have to keep asking them to keep going. It's great to have players to step in, and that's why you build a squad, that's why you need a squad. We know again next week we're going to miss Scott McGill because he's obviously cup tied. But Ross Millen's back in training Monday morning, so it looks like we're getting a little bit of fortune at the right time.
We spoke about the back line and the trials there. Let's chat a wee bit about how fluid we were in terms of the midfield forward, because when goals go in, you start looking at the scoreboard thinking we could do another 20 minutes of this. In terms of the attacking dynamic, it was impressive straight from the first goal. You presented with an opportunity, and a kind of Panenka finish for the edge of the box gets us rolling. Yeah,
a really cheap goal from Cove's point of view, and one that we didn't have to work too hard for, but you take those opportunities when they come along, because it's not very often. It's a wonderful finish from Isma. He was on his game today. I felt he ran their defence a bit ragged at times. Maybe there's a cup final next week's, getting him ready for it, and we give him the game time to try and get his fitness up. When Isma's on the game, he's a handful. When Isma's off the game, he can be a frustration, and we know that. But I said to the written press out there, it's like Dylan Easton today wasn't his finest game, but you have to put up with flaws in players to get their good points. I hear a lot about what players can't do, not too much about what they can do, and there's not many players that could have finished like Dylan Easton's finished today.
Quality across all of the goals, wasn't there?
Excellent. I think the pleasing point for me in our attacking sense was the width we created within the game. We really stretched them and we switched the ball really, really quickly second half. Something we've been trying to do a bit better since I came in. We've got good footballers. It's about decision making. Sam as well. Sam's such a good player. He could probably play Sam anywhere, and he'll give you everything, and he's quality on the ball. And these players are now giving themselves, a heck of a chance of starting next Sunday.
Your use of the kind of second ball when it initially goes into the opposition box was really impressive today. It seemed that as soon as the ball came out of the box to a Raith Rovers player, not only was it about saying, can we move it wide, it was actually players taking control and saying, can I do something constructive here? It was really noticeable today. It
was. I think there was a couple, especially in the second half, where perhaps 3-4 months ago we might have had a shot, and we had to keep trying to get the ball out wide and getting a better opportunity for your teammate. Today was probably our most selfless performance in the attacking sense, because if you watch your really good teams, they wait and they wait and they wait and then they go for it. There's nothing wrong with hitting shots 25 yards, 30 yards at times, but if there's someone in a better position than yourself, give them the ball and try and get the goal, because it's all about the team. It's all about trying to get as many goals as we can to help our goal difference. But I felt today we've done that. I thought we were really, really good.
Can you give us any early kind of indication in terms of Tom? He seemed to take a bit of a head knock before the
yeah,
half-time.
He took an elbow to his chest. It really knocked him, because Tom's a strong boy. We've seen that. He felt okay to go back on, and then at half time he wasn't feeling great and a wee bit sick. So the last thing we wanted to do is take Tom off, but we had to look after his welfare and make sure he was okay. And he doesn't come off the pitch lightly, because he's a real leader for us. I think that was epitomised when we gave him the captain's armband when Scott wasn't in the side. So hopefully maybe tonight, tomorrow he'll feel a lot better. Get him back in training middle of the week, towards the end of the week. But again, if he's not fit, he's not fit. We won't risk him.
You mentioned in the midweek interview in terms of there's always kind of knocks and twists and bumps and bruises, but there's obviously this kind of seasonal time of the year, there's wee bugs kicking about as well. I noticed that Connor and Aidan were going through some work before the game.
Yeah.
Looking okay?
Yeah, Connor took a bang last week at Ibrox, came off at half time. That was the reason. Aidan took a bang at Ibrox, so not illness for those two. But they were training this morning with Ross Millen, which is great, because Ross is way ahead of where we thought he was going to be. We knew Aidan and Connor were going to be 7 to 10 days, 14 days maximum, but they both seem to have come through this morning's session okay. We'll have a better idea tomorrow and Monday. But there is Bugs. William was off this week with a heavy cold. Ryan Nolan, as I said, didn't train yesterday. So at this time of the year, coming out the winter, and you're going into the next stage, we have to look after the players. We'll really now use our whole squad, try and keep everybody fit and healthy, and try and get into that player position.